Hello and welcome to episode 574 of Fergo and the Freak. I'm that bloke from Rugby League Project, Andrew Ferguson. You can find me on Twitter at AndrewRLP. Join me as always as the glorious LeagueFreak. You can also find on Twitter at LeagueFreak. How you going there, mate?
I'm very well, Andrew. How are you?
Look, I could very easily be perfect.
Mm-hmm.
Very easily.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I'm not, but yeah, I could very easily. I mean, if I wanted to, I could just not be a podcaster and I could just be an astrophysicist. Easily.
I don't understand what you're talking about.
You don't?
No.
Mate, I saw a few of your tweets during the week.
Okay.
Especially more recent ones after the first Ashes test.
Yes.
And people were talking about, this Ashes side for the Great Britain side and comparing it with one from 2003.
Mm-hmm.
And they were saying how much better that side in 2003 was. And you made a very, very astute comment of they lost that series 3-0.
Yes.
And I saw one of the replies said, we could have very easily won that series.
Yes.
That's kind of what I'm punching at there.
Okay. Look, I've been dealing with this for longer than you have. Okay.
Oh, yeah. I'm aware of that.
I'm a veteran of this game.
This goes back. You're closing in on 3 decades of this drama.
It is. It's starting to creep up towards 3 decades.
You started when you were just 4 years old.
I really was.
Back when I was 50s when this began.
Yeah, you're in your 50s, and I was a very young robot back then.
That's right.
I'm just used to hearing silliness like that, complete silliness. Like I've heard many times that 2003 series, closest series ever, and it's like we won 3-0. Oh yeah, but we could have easily won that series. It's like, yes, but we won 3-0. It's like, but did you watch it? It was very clear. It's like, yeah, but we won 3-0. Like, what more do you want from us? What more do you need?
Yeah.
And I actually did a tweet tonight, which I thought summed up how close England/Great Britain has been getting to Australia. And I thought actually you'd be able to add to this a little bit. So, since we took over completely and haven't lost a series since, 72? Australia's retained the Ashes under Australian refs and English referees.
Mm-hmm.
They've won it at home.
I believe also during the 90s it was a French referee as well.
French referee, yeah.
And Kiwi referees. There was Dennis Hale and, man, I forgot the name of the French referee. He was brilliant.
What was his name? Yeah,
he just had these really flamboyant hand gestures and stuff.
Yeah, I watched some of those games during the week. So we've won it against under Australian referees, English referees, French referees, and New Zealand referees. We've won it at home and away. We've won it in the 70s, the 80s, the 90s, and the noughties, and we're going to win it again in the, I don't know what you'd even call it, the 20s.
We've gone back to the roaring 20s.
Yep. We've won it under the 5-metre rule and the 10-metre rule. We've won it under no interchanges, under unlimited interchanges, and limited interchanges. There's just no more excuses England has. Like, how many more ways do we have to win it before they just cop it and realise that they're nowhere near us?
Well, given the way their game is going over there, there's only one left, and that is we have to do it as amateurs.
That's pretty much it, hey?
Yeah.
We've won it pretty much every single way we could possibly win it. The England team hasn't beaten us in a game of any kind since 1995, and that's who we're playing in the Ashes this time around. I just don't know what they need to see, and yet you will still see people in the aftermath of this recent game that we had, which Australia, I don't think they got out of second gear to win that game very, very comfortably. You still saw people saying, well, in the first half, England had a lot of chances, and I didn't see them. And then it was like, oh, England made a lot of breaks. They just couldn't finish them. And it's like, I just don't know what game they were watching to see this and have this sort of optimism. England.
Right, I was going to say, do you want me to go through genuinely the few good things I can say about England's performance.
Go for it.
Okay. I do think their centres, especially Wardle, were more dangerous for more frequently during the game. I think the Australian centres defensively were ordinary.
I think there was on Shibasaki's side, he was defending alongside, and I've got a new name for him, Wasabi Nagasaki.
I mean, I like it.
It's a good one, eh?
It's a good one.
We wasted a whole year just not saying his name, but Wasabi Nagasaki's pretty good. He was a defensive catastrophe out there on the wing for Australia.
He was constantly in off his wing.
Yeah, completely just a catastrophe. And I think that really hurt Shibasaki on the inside of him because he was always scrambling to cover for his winger. So yeah. I think that helped on that side. I saw
Farnworth was not getting any good ball to take advantage of it.
No.
I think Wardle actually was close to England's best, even though he had a few muck-ups. He was the one guy who looked dangerous. He made a few breaks on that edge out there, and Staggs was constantly flat-footed, and he constantly kept running to him the whole time and holding the ball up and getting his winger in a good position, stuff like this. I thought he was good. I thought Dominic Young was good, bringing the ball back from his own line from kicks.
Yep.
Kai Pearce-Paul was very strong running the ball in the middle.
I didn't think so.
I mean,
that's my opinion, though.
Who was better than him in the England pack?
Oh, no one was good.
I was trying to mention the people who did well.
Okay.
I think Lewis started out looking, I would say brilliant, but I'd say he was looking sprightly.
Mm-hmm. Yep. I was going to say lively.
Yeah. Williams was solid. He didn't do much, brilliant stuff, but he also didn't do much shit stuff either. He was just solid. And I think the only other one was Jez Litton, who I think probably should have been the starting hooker because he looked far more varied in the way he was doing things to Clark, who looked like he was just passing off the deck. Other than that, I think for the most part, they were as good as they're going to be.
Yeah.
And Australia was flat.
Yeah. Well, Australia, the thing that people forget, and I guess it's interesting because a lot of people haven't really watched a test series like this for a long time. The first game, Australia played conservatively, and that's what you do on the first match of a tour series where you're going out to a different country, like across the world. That's what you do. And that's why we saw Australia sort of open it up a little bit in the second half. But I thought Australia did exactly what you would have wanted to see them do, and that for a first game of a series, bank a win.
I will also say that I think there was 16 people playing for England who all could have been a better second row option than John Bateman. Every single one of them.
Every single one of them, yeah.
Because my God, he was just absent, and when he was present, he was shit. Look, I don't know at all how England went, yep, let's just select him again. Like, what has he done in the last... Let's be as honest and as friendly as we possibly can. What has he done in the last 3 years to deserve a test jumper?
Nothing. I mean, the only thing you could say is he's got NRL experience. That's about it.
Yeah, but it's experience being shit and losing. He's crap. I'm just done with that bloke. Yeah. He's worse than Hudson Young, and Hudson Young in this game was atrocious.
He really was. I don't know how many rep games Hudson Young has to be the worst player in before they stop picking him.
Mate, he's so bad. He's almost the the stereotypical Newcastle selection that they make every year.
Yeah. It's like his name is Hudson Young / Saifidi.
I can't watch him play rep footy. It does my head in. I don't know what they see.
Yeah, I don't either. I don't get it. But
And it looks like Australia's picked basically the same side. They've just replaced Yo, who's obviously got a concussion, which is just, why take 23 blokes when after the second game you're basically going to have only used 18 of them?
I think I was talking about this with people on Twitter, and you know that I said I hope that they don't use the entire squad. I've changed my mind on that, and they've done it the right way. You wrap up the series and then chuck the other guys on in the last game. I think that's
exactly
fair.
what I think will happen. But
yeah,
I don't know. I think I probably would have dropped both the centres for this one.
Okay. Who would you have picked instead?
Who cares?
It doesn't matter. That's what it comes down to. It doesn't matter who we.
It doesn't matter, but you could put anyone in there. I was just watching it though, thinking, man, I would have Tallis Duncan in this Australian Test side over Hudson Young comfortably.
Well, yeah, definitely.
I have massive love for that kid because, my God, I fucking love the effort plays he has. He does not fucking quit. He doesn't die on anything. I went, that's what you need in rep jumpers.
But could you imagine if we had Liam Martin in there instead of Hudson Young? And like, I mean, we were punching holes through them all night and doing it quite easily. You knew that they had never seen a player like Big Tino before. And
wasn't he damaging?
That opening stint he put in was just, they've got nothing that compares to someone like him, and he just proved it. And I think that they really saved him. I think that Kevin Walters sort of brought him off the field and was really, saving him a little bit for the remainder of the series. Because he can play 80 minutes, which is kind of crazy for a dude that big. But then somebody pointed out to me on Twitter, imagine if we had have had him and Payne Haas, which would have been very easy for us to have. I think if Payne Haas was in our side, and Payne Haas is born and raised in Australia, so he'd have every right to play for us, I think that would have been a 40-point scoreline. And in thinking that way, I think in this next test, this second test, considering that we have the continuity of the lineup, except for Isaiah Yeo in the side, who is out with concussion, I think we will score 40 points in this second game. And then the last game, as I said, I think we'll just chuck everyone out there that hasn't had a run, and that's fair enough.
Yeah. The most alarming thing out of this for England is how much their forward pack did not stand up.
No.
So consider this. Mikey Lewis, their halfback, made more meters than nearly all of their forwards.
Yeah.
Ethan Harvard got 37 meters. Clark, the hooker, 23. Matty Lees, 36. John Bateman, 46. Kai Pearce-Paul, 77 meters. Morgan Knowles, 73 meters. Jez Litton off the bench, the hooker, 24. Walmsley, 63. Trout, 31. McMeekin, 51. Lewis had 68 meters, so only Pearce-Paul and Knowles made more meters than him in the forwards.
Yeah, and I think the thing is that there were some English fans that were saying we need changes. There's no one to change to. There's no one that's waiting in the wings that's you look at and you say, oh, yeah, that guy would have done way better. There's nobody else. And
well, I mean, there's AJ Brimson as 18th man.
Well, we'll get to him. Right? But there's no English forward that's waiting out there that you throw into this team that's going to do dramatically better. There's no one that's out there that you could say, you know what, he would have got 100 meters in this game. There just isn't.
Of course, but I think also the genius coaching the side had this absolutely mad, harebrained idea of let's just play wide of the ruck the whole game in the Ellis corridor, as we call it.
Yeah. And
that's why they played the majority of the game. That's why their backs had so many run meters, except for their fullback, who was, I don't know.
Can we talk about the fullback?
I don't know what was going on with Welsby, man.
I think Welsby is just... Okay, so over the last probably 20 years, Great Britain has always had some great white hope. It's going to be this guy. Wait until this guy gets out there. Australia's going to really struggle with this guy. And I think of them, Danny Maguire, Morley was one, Sam Burgess was one, Kevin Sinfield, all of these players that supposedly we were going to struggle with, who never did anything against us ever, like not one thing. And I think Wellesby's just the latest one. I've talked about Wellesby in the past where, if in Australia, if you had like a junior who was 14 years old, who was playing fullback, and he was positionally as bad as Wellesby, you would have to sit him down and say, look, either we need to really work on your positioning or you're not a fullback because you just don't know what you're doing at all. And Wellesby's doing this at a professional level. His attack is not a problem. You just don't have to worry about him. His defense isn't anything at all. And yet he is supposedly the next great British player. AJ Brimson's the best English player by a long way. And I was saying that going into the series. Like, if you chuck Brimson in this side, I don't care where, he's the best English player they've got available. And they've named him as 18th man, which was ridiculous. He should come straight in at fullback.
Yeah.
But it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter, Andrew.
No,
it doesn't matter.
But if we're being honest, they would put him at fullback because I don't think Williams and Lewis were that poor. I'd switch Litton with Clark. Look, it just gives him a bit more attack.
Yeah, and I like what Mikey Lewis brings to the side. I don't rate George Williams. I've never rated George Williams.
No, I know, but I don't think. I think when he was here in Australia, we didn't see George Williams do anything. I think this is probably the best game I've seen him play. Not that it was great, but it's probably the best game I've seen him play.
He didn't fuck up, like you said. He didn't fuck it up.
Yeah.
And that's going a long way for an English halfback since going back to the 90s.
I think switching him to 5'8" was good because it forced him to run the ball, and any half is going to be more dangerous if they're running the ball because players will wait and see what they do. Doesn't matter who they are. So it forced him to do that. Lewis, I do like him. There's a little bit in his style. There's a little bit of Andy Gregory, a bit of, stand up and go toe to toe and be a bit of a smart ass sort of thing.
And on top of that, do something a little bit different as well.
Yeah. I like his style. I like what he's doing. But yeah, I didn't think Clark offered much at all. I thought Litton was a lot better. I think Litton also showed he had a better kicking game as well than Clark. And that took a bit of pressure off the halves. So I'd have him starting. They've got to get into some sort of mindset of playing more in the middle of the field because, as we know, if you don't win the battle in the middle, if you're not even competitive in the middle, you don't win games of footy.
Yeah, and they
avoided it, man.
Yeah, it's crazy.
They just straight up avoided it. It was crazy.
At the same time, I think if they go head-to-head with the Australian pack, they're going to get annihilated, and it's going to end up with them being absolutely ruined going into the second half, and Australia could go from, instead of winning by 40, they might put 60 on. Like, I just think that there's no out for England. It's like best case scenario for them is they're nowhere near good enough. And that's where we're at with them. And I just think that there's, we can talk about the changes they can make and all this sort of stuff. I don't think any of it matters for England. I think that we win this series 3-0 at like a canter. And there's nothing on the horizon I see for England that I can really point to and say, oh, yeah, well, at least, they've got this going for them. Herbie Farnsworth is a good player. He's not the best centre in the world, like I saw some English people saying, but he's a very good player. Very good player. AJ Brimson is their best player. Mikey Lewis has got a little something. We both talked about that. And that's it, really. There's
who else have they got in their squad?
I mean, if they could have had Victor Radley in there, and I know you may rate him about the same way, but it would have been better than what they've got out there.
I don't know. I've not seen Radley do anything useful for ever.
I completely agree, but he'd have at least been a little better than what they put out there. You know?
Bateman Brimson, Joe Burgess, Matty Lees.
Yeah, I mean...
Mike McMeekin, Harry Newman, Oledzki, Harry Smith, Morgan Smithies, Owen Trout. It's pretty bleh.
Yeah. Yeah, so, I mean, it goes back to something that I tweeted the day after the game. Because when the game happened, I said, like, they've talked about this for 22 years and this is what they've put up. I was pretty disgusted by it. The next day, I'd kind of come down a little bit and I said, look, England should just enjoy the experience of playing the Kangaroos, seeing the Kangaroos on English soil. They can go to games. There's going to be big crowds, which is great to see. Just enjoy the event. Enjoy watching the Kangaroos, because that's all you can really get out of this series if you're England. Just have fun. Just go to the game and have fun. Go to the game and say you saw, Nathan Cleary and Munster and Reece Walsh. That's the best thing they can do, because there's no coming out of this for England and there's nothing on the horizon. They're only going to get worse from here. So just enjoy this series for what it is. And that's all right. Like, Australia goes to soccer World Cups and we just enjoy the ride. That it's all right to be at that point, but they've got to accept that they're at that point, and otherwise they won't enjoy it. I know you and me enjoy watching these games.
Absolutely.
And we enjoy watching the Soccer World Cup games, and we're like, we lost to Italy, damn it. And
it's more or less just watching, because when they pick the Australian side and they pick a majority of, Australian soccer players in the Australian side, they play a more traditional Australian style, which has got a little bit of rugby in it, league or union. Yeah, they're a little bit too aggressive in defence.
Yeah, and it's not how other teams play,
it's very hip and shoulder heavy stuff.
Yeah, and we enjoy it and stuff like that. But we know that we're not about to win the World Cup, you know. And if we get into the quarterfinals, we're like, oh my God, we made the quarterfinals. What could happen here? But when we don't win the final, we're not like, oh, what the fuck, I think that's where English Rugby League supporters need to reset their marker for where this team is at, because I think that they've had a false sense of security when you look at the last two series they've played against a Samoan team and a Tongan team where the refereeing was atrocious and where those sides weren't sending their elite players. And then they've watched Tonga and Samoa play last weekend, and they had one hell of an international game, one of the best international games we've seen in a few years now. And England think that they're with those teams, and they're not. England are back with maybe Fiji and PNG. And they need to reset their sights there, because if they don't realise where they are, they're just going to kid themselves that they're somewhere where they're not, and that's not healthy for them, and that's not ever going to get them to improve in any way. And once they realize where they're really at, then they can start working on all the things that they've got to work on. Then there's a lot of work to be done.
There is. Now, I do want to say, for the eternally, I wouldn't say delusional, but let's go with optimistic English fans,
okay,
who are still holding out hope for a series win.
Okay.
I was asked after the first test, when was the last time Great Britain / England beat Australia 2 games in a row? So I went and did the research. Had to go.
Okay, so tell us first 2 games in a row in a series.
So 2 games in a row in a series was 1970, and that was the last time. I think that was Great Britain.
Mm-hmm.
So that was in the Ashes. The last time they won 2 in a row.
Just like that, so you could win. So the last time they won 2 in a row, so it would be like you could win the third game of a series that you lost and then the first game of the next series that you still lost.
Which is exactly what they did in 1988 and 1990.
Okay.
For England, the only time they won back-to-back games against Australia was either side of World War One.
Okay.
So they won the second game of 1911 and the first game of 1921.
Wow.
That's England.
Yeah.
So, it's happened.
I mean, it's possible. Yeah. Yep. It's possible.
It has happened.
It won't happen this time, though.
No, I wouldn't think so.
Can we, any English fan that's tuning in, and there will be more than normal, I think, they're probably going to feel like we're being super harsh and we are really toning it back. Because, I mean, people know that I can get pretty fired up about these series against Great Britain and England.
Yeah, I think if there's anything that we've learned over the 500 and whatever it is episodes we've done here, whenever we spoke about England, is you've pretty much just said, no, you know what? And rightfully so. No, fuck them. This is what they want. This is how they've decided it's best for them. They don't want change, so this is just what they're going to get. They get what they deserve.
Mate, you just nailed it. You nailed it. I was thinking it'll be interesting to see what you say now.
That's what it's been. And I've always been, but maybe if they try this and if they try that, and I've always been a little bit more optimistic and hopeful and, and trying to be a little bit, maybe if they try this or they could do this or something like that. And I'm still accepting that it's in a horrible situation over there. Mm-hmm. But I'm trying to find ways for them to get out of it and be better. And you've just gone, no, it's not going to happen. I don't want it.
Yep, fuck them.
Yeah.
And look, it took me some time to get to that point, right? And what's really interesting is over the 540, what was it, 74 episodes we've done?
Yeah.
I feel as though you've slowly been worn down more towards fuck it.
It's
not fully there.
No, not fully there.
No, because I think where I am.
I'm always optimistic that things can get better. And all it takes is actually someone with some brains and some effort and not self-interest at heart to actually make the change and make things better. The problem is English Rugby League always hires the ones that have got self-interest at heart. And so, they just shoot themselves in the dick time and time again.
Yep. You are on a scale on a timeline. I feel like you are 2002 me in terms of where you are going to end up, right?
Yep.
2003 was probably my complete fuck it turning point because there were lessons that they didn't pick up out of that. And from that point on, I was just like, pound these pricks into the dust. Because
if we're going to be honest, 1997 was when they thought, you know what, we've fallen behind too far. Let's do something about it. And they did a fucking review. And then they put it on the shelf. And that's where the review stayed.
Yeah.
So it wasn't 2003. It was further back. It was 6 years prior to that.
And then, right, we eventually come into the 2000 World Cup and they talked that up and we all know how that went. And that angered me. That made me really angry. 2001, we had that series where there was a terrible incident and a lot of the world was thrown into flux and we weren't sure if we were going to send a side and we ended up sending a side and we beat them, right? Yep. And they talked a lot of shit about that team, that Australian team, and they still lost to them.
Well, there's an awful lot of Australian players who chose not to go as well, so it wasn't exactly our strongest side.
And, I mean, we were alive at that time. I completely understand why players chose to not go during that series. That's fine.
I mean, they were going to be flying in September, October.
Yeah. And then we come into 2003. I remember them saying, weakest Australian team I've ever seen, all sorts of stuff. And they lost 3-0. And look, it's more than 2 decades after that series, and you'll still find people that will say, lost 3-0 at home. But we could have easily won 3-0. And it's like, shut the fuck up. You deserve everything you get. Listen to me. Look, you just flicked me, Andrew. You just switched me. Fuck them. They deserve this. Let's pound them 3-0. Let's let their game rot. They deserve it. They love it. This is what they want. Fuck them.
So, well, I mean, that's a nice segue because Peter Vlandys was over there having a meeting with with some of the club bosses and the higher ups at the Super League.
Interesting that he met with IMG first.
Yes. And some of the comments he made were obviously very, very, obviously true. It's not like he's a fucking rocket scientist going out there saying, there's problems with the structure and the way the whole thing is set up.
Mm-hmm.
And everybody needs to be focusing on improving the game overall, which, as I just addressed, like self-interest has always been at heart for whoever's running the game there.
Mm-hmm.
And there does need to be an independent entity that runs the game.
Yep. And it needs to be financially sustainable.
Yeah, he wasn't going over there, explaining how to, break the mold and make things work and be some sort of fucking magician. He just mentioned the bleeding fucking obvious, really.
Yeah, all basic stuff. As I said, I've been talking about this shit for fucking decades and getting grief for it.
But the interesting thing was he did get asked, would the NRL set up a rival competition, NRL Europe? And he said no. He shot that down.
Mm-hmm.
What else was he asked? He was asked if they would be buying a share of the Super League. And he didn't say no, but he also didn't say yes.
Mm-hmm.
He was just sort of leaving it open. I think the line he was taking there was, if Super League gets to a point where it needs money to survive and the NRL can help with that without impacting the NRL's bottom line too much, then the NRL might be open to helping in some way. And I think that's kind of the position he was taking there.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think he's in this mindset of, we're going to come in and take over and run the game. I don't think that's where he was getting at.
Although it must be said, the day before this interview came out, and I thought it was a pretty good interview, actually, there were leaks coming out that the NRL were going to buy a 30% stake, whatever that means.
Hasn't that been reported before, though?
Well, not necessarily this. So it was 30%, but they wanted 100% control. Okay, that came out before the interview that he did. And the interview that he did was a kind of a very big step back from that.
Yes.
The English administrators don't like turning power over to other English administrators. There is zero chance that they're going to turn any power over to Australian administrators, let alone all the power over to them. If it ever got to that point, we would see clubs simply say, oh, fine, you run Super League, do you now? We're all leaving. That's what they do. Because they've done it before with the Rugby Football League.
Yes.
When the Rugby Football League took control and they didn't like it, they all just said, well, we're all going. And that was it. And Super League ran on its own accord, and it wasn't really under the Rugby Football League's banner. So we've seen that happen before.
Yes. I will say, Peter Vlandys is not Australian. He's Australian.
Yes, definitely. He's definitely Australian.
He's Australian, all the way Australian.
Australian, yeah.
So that's a country unto its own.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah, there could be...
Isn't that the country that Dr. Doom is from?
It could very well be.
Australia? Yeah, pretty sure that's where Dr. Doom's from.
I think Dr. Robotnik was born there as well.
Australia, yep. That sounds correct. We won't look it up, but that does sound correct.
Yeah, I mean, yeah. I think we've proven over the years that you and I are basically the same as Google.
Yeah. Except for we've got way more access to pornography.
Bingo. Oh. Well, Speaking of, dodgy content online, have we had any emails?
We have. We've had an email. It's from somebody called Glenn.
Uh-oh.
You know Glenn.
I do.
Let's hope he doesn't slander the Sharks or Paul Gallen.
We need to get can we get a beefier legal team to deal with all of these emails that Glenn sends us?
Well, just like, do you mean like more lawyers or fatter lawyers?
I think probably both. I think the fatter ones are probably fat because they've won so many cases, so that means they're good.
I can't argue with that reasoning at all. So, Glenn, the subject is Bathurst, because this is a motorsport podcast, obviously.
Well, yeah.
G'day, Fergo and the Freak. Last email I mentioned I watched Bathurst as opposed to the PM's 13 versus PMG game. You guys mentioned about not knowing too much about the history of Bathurst, so may I help you with this? Did we mention about not knowing the history of Bathurst?
That doesn't sound like anything either you or I would have said.
Yeah, I've been watching Bathurst since I was knee-high to a toaster. As much as I love rugby league, I love my motorsport just as much, and especially Bathurst. Mount Panorama is actually Bathurst's second racetrack. The original racetrack in the area was called the Vale, and that was used between 1931 and 1937. I didn't know this. To which I recently learned you can still drive around it. That's pretty cool. The mayor of Bathurst, Martin Griffin, wanted to build a racetrack, but in order to get the money, as New South Wales was coming out of the Great Depression, he came up with the idea of a scenic drive around Mount Panorama, creating jobs for dole recipients. That sounds cool. Construction began in 1936 and was completed in March 1938. The first race was April 1938 on the Easter weekend. Now he gives us some corner names. Corner names, ready? Griffin's Bend is named after Martin Griffin, the mayor.
Mm-hmm.
Reed Park was named after Huey Reed, who was a city engineer who redesigned some of the corners of the circuit. McPhillamy Park was named after Walter McPhillamy, who was the previous mayor who donated some of his land. Skyline got its name from the views it provided.
Yes.
Forest Elbow was named after bike racer Arthur Forrest, who came off his bike and grounded the point of his elbow away. Oh, God damn. That sounds painful. Conrod Strait was named after a Conrod failure in 1939. The Chase was built after Mike Bergman's Commodore got airborne over the last hump. Mike lost control and jumped the wall and hit the base of the old Dunlop Bridge. I think I've seen
was
that.
Was this in the 90s or 80s? 90s. I'm thinking it was the 90s that put the Chase in.
I feel like it was the 80s. Maybe we should look that up. Anyway,
I mean, if Glenn had done his job properly, you'd have fucking told us.
Yeah, Glenn. Fuck, man. Murray's Corner, I believe he means to say.
They've been named after one of the Wiggles.
It was named after Bill Murray had a crash there in 1946. I didn't know Bill Murray was that old. He was doing some motorsport before Ghostbusters.
There you go. Man of many trades.
If you'd like more information, let me know. Cheers, Glenn. P.S. Paul Gallen is the biggest... I can't read that, Glenn. I can't read that. He's making accusations about Paul Gallen.
He's got to stop putting that in there.
The Sharks.
Yeah, you've got to
their coach at the time. You can't say that sort of stuff, Glenn.
Now, I want to put in an addition here, and I want Glenn to correct me.
Okay.
The last corner coming onto the main straight, I believe, is called Hell's Corner, and it used to have, if I remember rightly, from what I've been told, it used to have a wooden fence post, something like that, on the inside corner. And when the motorcycle bikes went round, as the riders leaned towards the post, their heads would almost touch that big old wooden post there.
Oh, wow.
And that's how it got its name. I could very well be wrong. But Glenn, you're going to have to send us another email and answer, finish your job, so to speak.
Do the job properly next time, Glenn.
Yeah.
It's interesting, early Australian motorsport that, we've talked about the racetrack that was in Tregear before that Jack Brabham raced at. All of these little tracks that were around the place, which some of them have disappeared. There's another one up the mountains that I think it's near Katoomba. Can't remember the name of the track, but I watched a video of it about 5 or 6 months ago, and you can still walk some of it, and you can still see some of the guardrails and stuff are up, and then it disappears up into the bush a little bit. There were all of these racetracks that are around. I know that there was a drag strip out at Castlereagh at the back of Penrith, which obviously isn't there anymore. And I love seeing these old tracks that you kind of never knew they were around, but they've got really rich motorsport histories. But it's interesting that that's what they did with Mount Panorama, that it was kind of a planned place rather than just where local races, were using it, and then it was sort of grandfathered in almost.
Yeah, it's an amazing track too.
Oh, it's one of the greatest tracks in the world. It's right there with Spa, the Nürburgring. I'm trying to think of other. I mean, you'd have to put Daytona in there as well, just because of the history that and what that means to NASCAR. Suzuka.
Yeah, Suzuka's pretty good.
I'm trying to think if there's any others that really stand. I mean, Le Mans, you'd have to have that there.
Yeah, I suppose Monaco.
Monaco, yeah, Monaco definitely.
Yeah, it's definitely got a hell of a history there. There's no doubt about that.
Yeah.
I was going to say too, we did actually talk about a race involving cars in one of our more recent history episodes about the years before rugby league started, and it was James Joynton Smith had bought a racetrack and he decided to race some old cars against some horses around the track.
Oh, that's right. Yeah, that's right.
So we've been doing car racing for a while, and it's been somewhat semi-linked to rugby league for a bit.
Yeah. What is rugby league again?
Oh, it's that thing that happens at Odsal. They do racing around Odsal as well, don't they?
What a wonderful track Odsal is. Fucking dirt bikes, you get the dirt bikes around Odsal. It's very run down for a dirt bike track, though.
It is.
It's terribly dilapidated for dirt bikes.
Was it a week or two ago? Someone was trying to compare and say how similar Odsal was to Mount Smart Stadium.
Yes. It was one of what I call
big screen. One's got a few hockey straps around a TV on a pole.
One of what I call the usual subjects was bringing that up and saying it's basically the same thing. Really, it's like idiots.
Yeah. When your stadium can't compete for modern technology with Leichhardt Oval, yeah, you know what? Just pipe down a little bit.
Mate, Leichhardt Oval is it's like the Dallas Cowboys Stadium compared to Odsal. It's just crazy to think about.
All they did was just mow the grass on the hill at Leichhardt, and it's automatically better than Odsal.
Yeah. It's like far more modern than Odsal. Far more modern.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah.
Oh, any other great stories coming out of English Rugby League?
No. Have you got any wonderful stories coming out of English Rugby League for the last week or so?
I hope not. No, I've got no others. I will say they had a decent crowd at Wembley. That was good to see.
Yeah, that was good to see. Yeah, I
was a bit surprised though, because I was looking at it going, it's a similar sized crowd to what they get at Suncorp Stadium for Origin.
Mm-hmm.
It feels a lot quieter than Origin game.
I think it was generally a quiet game. I think it was probably the most quiet game I've ever seen for an English game of any type.
They started out with a bit of noise, but man, it dropped off pretty fast.
I think they picked up on what was happening out in the field. I think the helplessness kicked in really quickly for them.
It kind of did. It kind of
Yeah.
did. The next test is it Liverpool?
Yeah, it's at Everton's new stadium, which looks like a really nice stadium. It looks like a bigger version of Parramatta Stadium, but with probably maybe a little bit steeper seating on the ends.
So it's basically a second-rate Odsal.
Yeah, it's like it looks exactly like Odsal, except there's a stadium there. You know?
Yeah, it's got seats instead of weeds.
Yeah. But I think the atmosphere will probably be a little bit better because just the stadium is more suited for it, and everyone's going to be on top of the game. But it could also get very quiet very quickly if Australia starts putting on. I think the minimum's 40 that Australia will score. So we'll see what happens. Hey.
Yeah, look, I'll say I think Australia will probably do about. I'm going to be conservative and help the Poms out a bit. I think it'll be like 36-6.
Okay, I think it'll be 46-0 if they're playing okay, and if they really turn it on, I think we could score 60 very easily. Very, very easily. Yeah.
Wow. Now we get into the proper part of the podcast where we talk about Formula One.
Well, we've still got some rugby league to talk about. We have the.
Is there more rugby league?
Yeah, there's the Pacific Championship, which was.
I thought we were done with that pointless sport.
No. Look, last weekend we saw. The big game was Samoa versus Tonga, and that was just an outstanding game, a really interesting game to watch too. Samoa put on a performance that I've only ever seen really Australia be able to put on those sorts of performances where the ball just went to hand every single time. Everything they did just worked. And Tonga didn't even play poorly. They just, I think if Samoa had have played like that against England on the weekend instead of Australia, they would have scored probably 40 or 50 points. They were just outstanding. And Samoa's into the final now of the championship, the Pacific Championship. So they're either going to take on New Zealand or Tonga. Tonga has to win by, I think it's 17 or 22 points over New Zealand in this upcoming game that's going to be played at Eden Park, I believe it is. It's going to be interesting because I think Tonga will be much better for the hit out, but to score that many points against New Zealand is going to be very difficult. New Zealand looked really good in their first game of the Pacific Championship against Samoa, which they won. And I just can't imagine that they're going to fall back that hard after a week off and give up such a big scoreline against Tonga. Tonga really made it difficult for themselves, allowing Samoa to score that many points, especially after there was a break. 60 minutes into that match, there was a 90-minute break for a terrible thunderstorm that hit the Brisbane area, caused a lot of flooding and all sorts of problems. So they were off the field for an hour and a half in that match and then come back on. And Samoa looked fantastic once again coming out of the break. So Samoa looks really good, and I think that they're going to be very difficult to beat going into the World Cup. I expect it to be Australia's favourites, obviously, and New Zealand should be very good. But I think Samoa and Tonga are right there, and I think between the four of them, they could beat each other at any given time. So it's going to be interesting to see what happens.
The International Rugby League will have to be very, very clever about how the pools are organised.
Well, I believe that they've announced the pools. I think that was announced. It might have been this evening that it come out that they're going to do. I think they're doing a super pool thing.
How does that work?
So I think that they're going to have, with the 10 teams, I think they're going to have 4 in one group. It might be 4 in one group and then 3 in the other 2 groups. Let's look on the international. What's the International Rugby League's websites?
INTRL.sport.
INTRL, of course, .sport. They should buy International Rugby League off International RL off me. Fucked it up. INTRL.sport. I'm just seeing if they finally announced it.
Did that work?
I typed it in wrong. There's a bug on Apple devices, and it's fucking up everybody's typing, and it's been fucking me up for weeks. Let's see if it's come up here.
I'm having a look through the news on here at the moment. I'm not seeing anything about the World Cup.
Yeah, I'm not seeing anything either. France claimed the 9th berth. Although, why would you update the International Rugby League website with International Rugby League news? That would be stupid. Have a look on Twitter, because I saw Troy Grant was yapping.
Dear. I thought the Rugby League World Cup actually had their own website.
I don't know. World Cup.
What year is the World? Is it 26?
26, yeah.
I'll try. Yeah, it worked.
Oh, nice. They've got a website.
Yep. RLWC2026.com.
Oh, there you go.
Best Q countdown begins. Cusp of World Cup. Okay, it's not telling me anything.
Shock. All right. Okay, I'm looking at the Fiji obscured 1 year to go. Yeah, there's nothing here either.
So Troy Grant.
Yeah, look up Troy Grant. I know he blocked me because I kept on telling him to step down, I believe.
I mean, there's more things you probably could have said.
And I did.
Fair enough. Do you know what his username was on there?
Was it?
Is it Honourable Troy Grant?
Yeah, that's right. That's the one.
He's wearing a kilt.
No.
Yes, in his picture he's wearing a kilt. Trying to find it. How long ago did he post it?
I think I saw the news this evening.
Oh. It's not coming from him then.
Let's look up, World Cup. Let's look. It's great. I mean, we're fucking rugby league tragics, and we're having to really search for World Cup news. Isn't that fucking fantastic?
It's amazing, isn't it?
Yeah.
Let's see. Where was he? October 27? No.
Oh, hang on. Oh, no, that's 2024.
This is brilliant for people listening.
Yeah, I know. We're looking. We're trying to find information. I can always chop a little bit of this out.
There is nothing here.
No.
You must have seen it on something else.
International Rugby League.
I mean, let's be honest. Why did you make me look up International Rugby League in the first place? We know. We know better than that.
We're fucking stupid. Hang on a second. Okay, the international. Okay, hang on.
Rugby League World Cup 2026 pools.
I've been told, because I did a post where I said it should be 2 groups of 5. Everyone plays everyone once.
Here you go. Love Rugby League. They posted this 49 minutes ago.
Okay, see what they said.
What have they got on here? World Cup format confirmed as unique group stage system revealed.
Unique.
Right. According to reports from the Australian Associated Press, the men's competition will see 1 group of 4 and 2 groups of 3. Group A, comprising 4 teams, will see 2 teams advance to the semis, with each team playing the others in a traditional round-robin format. This pool will likely feature top-ranked sides Australia and New Zealand. In a unique system, the teams from Group B and C, the 2 3-team pools, will then play against each other, then facing sides in their own pool. The winners of each group will then progress to the semis. I'm confident the NRL Commission are designing the tournament to be entertaining, enticing, and as family-friendly as possible, IRL Chair Troy Grant said. Last year, we had the most internationals played worldwide in the history of the International Rugby League outside of a World Cup year. The quality is just getting better and better. There is a renewed passion for the national jerseys, which has probably been absent for a while. We're building blocks for the conversation to get more content available in non-World Cup years. Oh, that would be the calendar.
He says that there hasn't been pride in international jerseys for a while. He's been in charge of the International Rugby League for a while.
I was just thinking, like, we should have some merch, and one of those merch should be a calendar.
Yes, yeah, right. International Rugby League calendar, but then you get it's got all of the NRL and Super League dates in it, and then you get to the end of the club season and it's just question marks.
I'd be more inclined to just have 12 pages and they're all blank, and you got to fill it in yourself.
I'm up for that. Yeah, you get a pen with it. You just get blank pages and a pen.
That's it. Fill it in. If you make it one of those, pens that you can rub out.
Yep.
Then it's a perpetual calendar.
Whiteboard.
You can just use it next year. Wipe it all clean and start again.
Yeah. Fill it in when you get the dates for the international games in September.
For the games coming up this weekend.
Yeah. So they've gone to the super group route.
Have they not done this for the last 2 or 3 World Cups?
No, they did it for. There was a World Cup there where they did it and everybody absolutely hated it.
Well, yeah, it was stupid.
Yeah, and then the World Cup since then they've gone with the soccer style World Cup formats with way too many teams and group stages that didn't matter at all and were boring and drawn out and not needed.
I mean, you've got 10 teams. Why don't have 2 groups of 5?
Mm-hmm.
They play each other once. Have the top teams of both. If you want to have a bunch of finals, have the top teams from both pools go straight through to the semi-final, the week before the final. So they've got to play at least one finals match.
Yep.
Then have the 2 second-place teams play, the 2 third-place teams play. So second versus second, third versus third. They play in the first week of the finals. The winners of those games play each other, and the winner of, I don't know, something like this. I don't know. Or the two winners will go on and play the 2 top teams and whatever, and they go into the finals. And I
tweeted it should have been 2 groups of 5, right? Play everyone in your own group once. The top 2 teams go straight through to the semi-finals, and then we have the final the following week. Really straightforward, super straightforward. We get a good month of footy, and then final, done. I think that would have been really straightforward, and we would have got really good matches out of that. All the games would have really mattered, and instead we're going with this super group format where you're going to have, who knows how they're going to chop it up. You're going to have Australia and New Zealand in the first group. I don't particularly know why. And then you're going to have Tonga and Samoa in that first group too, because
you may as well, just so that England's got a chance. Because let's be honest, that's how this thing's going to be structured. England will be in a group with, whoever the last 2 teams get put in there,
and
then the other group will have Fiji, PNG, somebody else. There's always one group which is an afterthought. They always do that.
Yeah,
so spreading them out, they always go, no, we need to have the top teams playing each other in the pool games.
So do you have England in a group with France and Lebanon?
Probably. I think that's probably what they'll do.
And then you have, in the other group, you'd have PNG, Fiji.
And whoever the last team is that qualifies.
Probably the Cook Islands. You would guess that you'd have either Australia, New Zealand, Samoa or Tonga, 2 of those teams going through, right?
Mm-hmm.
And then you'd either have Fiji or PNG going through from one group and then England going through from the other group.
Yeah.
You reckon that's what they'll do?
I wouldn't be surprised.
Because England shouldn't be in that first group because they'll be buzzsawed, right?
Yeah.
They'll just be whoever they put in as the fourth team. Like if it's Australia, New Zealand, England, and Samoa or Tonga, England's finishing last.
I would just like to see them actually do the draw for who's in what pool on TV with the old-fashioned bingo ball thing.
That'd be cool.
Roll around, just go, okay, pool A, first team, bang, there it is. Second team, bang, there it is. Because the fact that we're already discussing what we think the groups will be, and there's a fair chance we're going to be close to right, is a problem.
Yes.
Because it means that there's an effort to have particular teams in there, not trying to keep teams out, but a particular effort to try and get specific teams into the finals.
And they've been manipulating it like this for how many World Cups now? Where it's
long.
like it's like we have to have Australia and England in the same group, right? Or we have to have Australia and New Zealand the opposite side so England gets through. And that hasn't always worked out for England. It didn't work last time. But the manipulation is just gross and it's not needed. Like the four best teams in the world, we know who they are, and England's not one of them. Why not manipulate it so that Samoa has a good run, or Tonga, or New Zealand?
Exactly.
You know?
But no.
I've got no problems with Australia having to go through a tough road, but there's just not this need to manipulate it. But if we had two groups of five, you really could have had a TV event where we were just ping pong balls coming out, and it was like, this team's going into Group A, this team's going into Group B, this team's going into Group A, this team's going into Group B, and that would have been sick to watch.
Yeah. I mean, they do a similar thing with the Challenge Cup, I believe, don't they? They televise the draw after each round's been finished.
I don't think they do anymore. I think they stopped televising it. I think this year they didn't televise it from memory.
Well, yeah. It showed some form of transparency, and that's kind of what's required here, because it's a bit closed shop and a bit weird the way it's all just organised, and you go, oh, England's in a separate group to the Pacific Islands again.
Yeah. Although I have to say, if they do the super group and it's like Australia, New Zealand, Tonga and Samoa, that all those games will be interesting, right?
Oh, yeah.
If the second group is, say, PNG, Fiji and Cook Islands, those games are going to be interesting.
Mm-hmm.
And if the last group is England, France and Lebanon, depending on who makes themselves available for Lebanon, they could beat England.
If Lebanon decide to go with the Australian-born Lebanese players like they did in that first World Cup they played, oh boy,
be something there.
They will cause some hurt.
Yeah. The good thing is there's going to be many more games in this World Cup, even with this format, that actually mean something and are interesting to watch than it was in the last few World Cups. So that's good.
Oh, God. I mean, it's not like you're setting the bar high there.
No, not at all. I was actually watching a lot of highlights from past World Cups, and it really made me think about the last one that was such a slog and just so many terrible games that meant nothing. Like, the World Cup is supposed to find the world champion. It's not supposed to be a participation event.
Yeah.
And yeah, it was so many games where it was like, this game didn't mean anything to work out who the world champion was.
Well, shall we move on to player signings?
Yeah, let's do that, because there's been some key ones.
Yeah, so the big one that happened today is David Fifita has left the Titans and he's going to South. And as part of the deal, the Titans are going to pay half his salary next year, because I think next year is his last year on the $1 million contract.
Is it?
I think so. I'm not sure. Okay. But yeah, they're going to pay $500K and South's going to play the other half. And the other one that's interesting is Jonah Pezzett, who's already signed a 3-year deal he's already signed a 1-year deal with Parramatta. Was it that one first or Brisbane first?
Yeah.
So he's playing for Parramatta next year, and he's going to Brisbane the year after for 3 years.
There's been a lot of talk about him as a player. Because he had a couple of good games for the Storm. I don't get it. I don't get it.
I've really not seen enough, to be honest.
Yeah, that's the thing. I haven't. It's not like you saw him play, a whole season, and you were like, oh yeah, he's like. It just wasn't like that.
No, but they all seem keen. I don't know why Parramatta's gone after him.
No, that makes no sense. I think we talked about that in the last episode.
Yeah, to me, it just feels like they have not found a replacement for Dylan Brown. So I figured let's just get this kid for a year. Give us a year to find somebody to replace him. That's all I can think. They're done, and if that's the case, then that says a lot of things that are not good about Parramatta's management more than anything else.
Yeah, very much. Their recruitment sucks. Daly Cherry Evans, he signed for the Roosters, I believe. Oh, he's going to today. By the time everyone hears this.
Well, as a player,
apparently. So we'll see how that turns out. And then I feel like there was another player movement. What was it? Damn it.
Sandon Smith.
Oh, he officially signed for the Newcastle Knights.
Yes. Just if there's anybody else. No. Oh, Manly signed Kobe Hetherington from the Broncos.
Yeah, that's a pretty good signing.
That actually really is a good one. I think that might be about it, though. Yeah.
Oh, the other thing was that Jackson Hastings, this is the one, Jackson Hastings was linked to the Canberra Raiders and I don't understand this, as a mentor for the young halves. Like, what the fuck? And Canberra come out a couple of days ago and said there is zero truth to this. So rest easy, Raiders fans.
Wow. Lewis Dodd has officially been released by South as well.
Yeah, I think that happened a little while ago. I don't know who's going to sign with in England, but good luck to him.
Apparently he's been picked up by Catalans.
Oh, that's right. Yeah, that's right. I forgot about that.
So not a huge amount going on there. There is talk, though, that Nelson Asfa-Solomona is going to test the market.
There was a report last week that he could end up at Parramatta, but I'd be surprised if that was the case.
And the other one is Big Tino. Could be about to test the market as well.
Who do you think he'll end up with?
I think he is going to be sick of losing, and he's going to want to go to a team that is going to be playing finals footy.
I would agree, but at the same time, I think the Perth Bears could offer him a huge amount of money. And
there's another team that's would be very close to his hometown that would be able to offer him a fair bit of money, and that's the Dolphins.
Yeah, true.
He grew up just up the road from there, so
they could really use him too.
Oh, shit, yeah. I wouldn't be surprised if they go in hard for him. But yeah, I'm still not sure what this Perth Bears team is going to do.
I think that they're going to make one huge signing that's going to be on a lot of money.
Ponga.
And then, hey?
Ponga.
You reckon?
He was born in WA. Get him back there. You can do a whole PR thing about it. Oh, local kid comes home.
Part of me feels like it's going to be Munster.
Oh, I don't know, man. I don't think Munster will.
You don't?
Nah. I think he's going to look at that and go, yeah, you know what? I'd rather just stay here on the coin I've got in Melbourne and stay here till I finish.
That's fair enough.
I don't think he'd go over there.
I mean, the one I would want, if I was the Perth Bears, would be Tino.
Oh, absolutely.
And I'd pay probably 1.4 for him.
I'd just give him the pen and the check and say, you write down there what you think's right. We'll work around it.
But it's about filling out that side with solid first graders at the very least, and that's going to be a big task to do. Basically, for this year, like they've got 1 year to do it. So
they really should be trying to build up whatever local junior talent they've got as well, as quickly as possible, because they're going to have to start drawing on those guys really fast because we've got the PNG team coming in the year after.
Yeah, and they're going to have all sorts of different incentives that Perth won't.
Yeah, and PNG is going to have a massive amount of locals to draw upon who are, match ready. Yeah. They're not juniors who've got to learn the trade like a lot of the guys in PNG have been playing over there and they're battle hardened already. They may be a bit down on skill, but they will pick that bit up, but they'll be ready to go physically.
The other thing that they'll have is the hunters in the Queensland Cup.
Yes.
And I always think with these expansion teams, the first thing that should happen with them is that they should build a reserve grade team and have that team play in, the New South Wales or Queensland Cup. And then on top of that, you build your first grade team, because then you sort of have got your almost your structure, your junior development structure is already in place, and you might have some guys from that reserve grade team that you're like, oh, this guy's probably a first grader we can use next year, and stuff like that.
No, that does make a lot of sense. But, it is also a Bears team.
Yeah, they can't be too good. There's got to be a certain level of heartbreak involved in it all.
I'm going to ask, because how keen are you on this Perth team, given that it's part Perth, which is exciting, and part Bears, which is boring?
Look, the Perth part is very exciting to me, very, very exciting. And, the amount of North Sydney that it is, I think it's honestly just their logo, to be honest. I don't think there's any North Sydney that's really involved in it. I know that they'll try and link it back to the North Sydney Bears, but I literally think that it's a brand new organisation. They've got a brand new board. They've got brand new sponsors. They're going to be in Perth. They're going to have a stadium there. They're going to have a centre of excellence in Perth. I don't think it's really anything to do with North Sydney. So I'm actually excited about it.
Okay. I do think that the 32 Bears supporters that still hang on to the hope that the Bears will return are going to be making many loud song and dances, and they're going to be all through the media. And it's going to become tiresome very fast, and it's going to make me go, I don't care about this team now.
I get that.
I'm legit worried about that, because I actually really do want to have a Perth team in there.
Yeah.
And I really hope that they would have their own identity.
Yeah, same here. Not
be crippled with some dead identity of a club that was barely competitive.
Yeah.
And as much as I'm an historian, I love all the history and stuff like that. Like, if the door closes on your chapter, bad luck.
Yeah, look, I mean, it's unless something dramatic happens, it's normally those doors close for a very good reason.
Exactly.
And I'm like you. I would love to have seen Perth have its own identity, but at the same time, and with the way that teams change logos and stuff, everything that I've read about this new Perth team, it just seems like I think Peter Vlandys wanted to have a Bears team in the competition. The red and black colours are pretty good colours to use as well. It might have just been a case of like they had this IP that was available to them. It cost them nothing. It was ready to rock and roll. Let's stamp it on this new team that we're making. Let's pretend it has something to do with the North Sydney Bears. and it might have just been the case of that, you know?
Yeah. I don't know. We will see.
Yeah.
But yeah, there's going to be a bit of a initial drain on talent for the next 2 seasons while those two teams come into the comp.
Mm-hmm.
And I dare say they're probably going to start looking at another one to make it an even number.
Well, I mean, the obvious one is a team from, a team from New Zealand is a must, and a second team from New Zealand is a must. But then if you look at what the NRL has talked about and we haven't talked about it yet in this podcast, they want to start the 2027 season with an international round of games where we have, game in Las Vegas, game in London.
Yes.
Yeah, so that's exciting, and it makes you wonder if the NRL will start to look at the possibility of having less club rounds, but then making it so that they've got a team maybe in France or something that then you can bring in, and because you've got the travel time that's available to you if you have, say, a 20-game season.
What would be amazing
those lines.
Is if the NRL brought back the Toronto Wolfpack.
Oh, that'd be incredible. Look, I would love that. The problem is that travel is the worst place in the world to travel from.
You just base them here for half the year. Or even for, yeah. You base them here for half the year, play their away games here. And then
how do you get teams to go over there?
I mean, put like 3 in a row all on one plane. Share the cost. Over you go. Play 3 games in like a week and a half and you'll come back.
You would have to go from here to, I guess, LA or here to Dallas because there's direct flights from Sydney to Dallas. And keep in mind, that the Cowboys would have to fly from, say, Townsville to Sydney and then Sydney to, say, Dallas and hope that there's a direct flight from Dallas to Toronto. That's a lot of traveling.
Yeah, they're paid enough. They'll be fine.
Yeah, you're right. That's what the money's for. You're right. You're right.
Well, yeah. I'm sure if Dally Messenger was listening, he's going, I spent 16 fucking weeks one year on a boat.
We went from here to fucking Canada. We took a fucking train across Canada. We got off there. We got on another fucking boat. You're right. That's what the money's for. You're completely right, Andrew.
Yeah. So yeah, they could find a way to make it work.
If you added, say, you could add a team from Toronto. I think it'd be interesting to have a team in Asia, but I don't know where in Asia yet. I haven't settled down on the team. Obviously, I've got my team in Honolulu. That'd be cool.
You got a Hawaiian team.
Yep.
Maybe the Wolfpack could just base themselves in Hawaii.
The Honolulu Wolfpack?
Yeah, why not?
Yeah, why not?
A Tahiti Wolfpack.
I think Tahiti's way too small.
Nah, it might be. You can make it bigger by just building and do what they do with some of those countries who found a way to create bigger parts of land on an island.
Yeah, you could do that.
I guess just put a stadium out there.
Look, you could have a team based in Dallas, seeing as there's direct flights.
I guess you could.
What would we call them?
The Dallas Donkeys.
Why the Donkeys?
How about the RK-47s?
What are you talking about? You can't call them the Texans because that's already taken for the NFL. You can't call them the Longhorns. That would have been really good, the Dallas Longhorns, but that's kind of already taken by a college team. The Longhorns name. You can't use the Oilers because that's still copyrighted by an NFL team that doesn't use the name.
Donkeys is then.
I think Roughnecks is also taken.
Bin chickens.
There's no bin chickens in fucking Dallas.
No, there's no Broncos in Brisbane.
Could call them the Luka Donkiches. Just to get Dallas fans interested.
The Dallas Bin Chickens has got something, man. I'm going for that.
I don't like it. I don't like it.
Maybe they could be Mad Squirrels.
I just thought of a name that you could call them, but I cannot say it. Ask me after the podcast. What about the Dallas Rangers? That'd be pretty cool. You can't use Rangers. It's the baseball team. Fuck.
Donkeys it is.
There's got to be a good Texas name that we can use. Come on, Texas. Maybe if any of our listeners in Texas, right, give us a name for your rugby league team in Dallas.
Look, it's going to be obviously between donkeys and bin chickens.
No.
All you've done is come up with ones that already exist.
I know. I'll work it out. Just give me some time. I'll work this out. I haven't got a name for Honolulu yet either.
Bin chickens?
I will walk across this studio and hit you with something.
Not again. Not again.
I knew you'd say that. Oh, shit.
My ears are still bleeding from the last time. Should we get on to the F1?
Well. Hey, oh yeah, the F1. I didn't see the race.
Basically, it was a procession.
Yep.
There was a bit of fuckery at the start, not much. Nothing major really happened. And McLaren eventually got what they wanted, which was Lando ahead of Oscar on the Drivers' Championship.
Oh, good for them. Good for them. Well, now they've got to put all their eggs in the basket of the leader, because that's what a normal team would do. Yeah. So I'm sure they'll do that now.
So now I'm just waiting for Max to come in and swoop in from nowhere and claim another title.
That'd be so funny.
It would be fucking hilarious.
Mm-hmm. I kind of hope it happens.
I really do hope it does.
Mm.
It would serve him a lesson.
Mm-hmm, it would.
But yeah, that's pretty much it. That was the race at Mexico.
Yeah, I couldn't wake up that early for it.
Actually, it wasn't on that early.
It was on at fucking 7 a.m.
Yeah.
I'd been up watching bloody Australia put fucking England to the sword, and then I had to get some sleep and then wake up for another footy game, and there was all sorts. There was other sporting events too that I was watching. I can't remember what ones they were.
You have like a 3 or 4 hour nap. That's enough.
But no, it's not.
That's all you need.
I don't keep this beautiful by having 3 hour fucking sleeps, Andrew.
I didn't get to 95 years old by having fucking 9 hour sleeps either.
Oh, shit.
Well, thanks for tuning in, everyone. I think we should probably tie this one up now and put a bow on it and send it to bed.
I hope everyone's enjoyed the episode.
I mean, I know I have. That's pretty much all that matters, really, isn't it?
I enjoyed it because we won so easily. It's just fun. It's like a celebration. And you know what we call this celebration? Every single day of our lives so far.
Today we call it Wednesday.
Yeah. It's like, I don't know anything else. This is
That's right. So, yep, had breakfast, beat England, go to work, come home.
Yeah. Sun comes up, we still have the ashes. Sun goes down, we still have the ashes.
Nothing changes. Yeah, thanks to you, everyone. Make sure you check us out on all the socials. Give us a watch and a like and a subscribe on YouTube. That'd be awesome. And we will catch you all next time.